These children are part of an African American community living deep in Israel's Negev desert.
Of the Muslim community.
They call themselves African
Creating another
Israelites
front in the
and believe they
American
are
so-called
descended
war
from
on
the
terror.
lost tribes of Israel. They're learning to pay homage to their founder and leader, Ben Ami. In Chicago in 1966, Ben Ami had a vision to liberate African Americans and return them to the Holy Land. People followed the call, and now the community is firmly established. 900 children have been born here.
אנחנו דואגים שהילדים שלנו מיישמים את הערכים אלוהים לא רק מבית, לא רק בבית הספר, גם לכולו. לכל אדם שהם פוגשים או כל אישה פוגשת, לחלק איתם את דרך לחיות, להביא אותם שלום, להבריא את העולם.
They call the community Kingdom of Yah, or God on Earth, and about 2,000 live in this compound.
I was coming to meet you.
Community leaders like Prince Emmanuel Ben Yehuda say it's a utopia where a pure form of Judaism is practiced. A vegan diet and polygamy is part of the vision.
What kind of relationship did they have back in the Genesis, back when they had a relationship with the Creator that wasn't labeled by a religious name? There were some principles, there were some codes of conduct that men and women adhered to, that secured their relationships with each other and also the environment and with the God that created them. So that's what we believe in.
Most Israelis, like former Interior Minister Avraham Porras, dismiss their claims to be recognised as Jews.
Are they Jewish?
No.
Why?
Well, they are not. Because they are not recognized by the rabbis as Jewish. They are, I don't know what their religion is, but it's not actually Jewish.
Tehillah ben Israel and Inan ben Shalith were among the first batch of 39 pilgrims to follow Ben Ami to Israel. In 1960s America, they said they were still treated like slaves. Like most here, they were searching for a better life and a way out of their drug and crime-ridden ghettos in Chicago.
If I had stayed in America, to be honest, I would be dead. Because in America I drank and I smoked. And that's not a way to live. If you're drinking and if you're smoking, then you're going to have a short life.
When we found the Hebrew Israelites, we knew that was the answer. Because the goals were to make life better for us. And we could see a future in it for us and for our children.
So far, the Israeli government has rejected their claims and denied them citizenship under the law of return, which says one grandparent has to be Jewish.
They denied us status. According to them, we were not considered Jews as they considered Jews. So they denied us status, and everybody would be making jokes about the Queen of Sheba and Solomon. And they used to make little funny jokes. Maybe we could trace our way through that line, you know, because no one had ever heard of people of color being considered Hebrew or Jew as they considered Jew. So it was a big problem.
The African Israelites' claim to the right of return is that as a tribe of Judah, they fled ancient Israel into Africa after the Roman conquest of Jerusalem in 70 AD and reached as far as West Africa.
You find tribes who trace their descendants to this part of the world and to this land in particular. And so those of us who were on the west coast of Africa were taken into the Americas during the Great Slave Trade.
Scholars say the evidence for this is tenuous at best, and Israeli authorities have tried to expel the community several times. The African Israelites feel discriminated against by the State of Israel because many other ethnic groups like the Ethiopians and Russians have been granted citizenship.
I mean, we keep the laws that are laid down in the Torah. We keep all of the laws. So we keep Shabbat, we keep the Chagim, and we follow, the commandments that were laid down. So, I mean, who could define, what else do you have to do?
Well, it's a very difficult question. The question who is a Jew, it's a very complicated issue, and there's not just one clear answer. Basically, in Israel, a Jew is somebody that is recognized by either the rabbis here in Israel, and we have an establishment of rabbis. We have a chief rabbinate in Israel. So if they are recognized by the chief rabbinate from one hand, or if they are recognized as Jews by a Jewish community out of Israel. Now, in both cases, they are not recognized.
As a community, the Kingdom of Yah is very insular. It's run by a council of princes, like Prince Emmanuel, who approve marriages and discourage outside unions. Inside the community, men are allowed to have 4 wives. They address each other as saint, and women call their husbands my lord. Homosexuality and premarital sex are strictly forbidden, as are any type of drugs like tobacco and alcohol.
When you're here, you're out, you're not locking your doors and having burglar alarms on your cars and your windows, and so it's a much more freer and stress-free environment. I know that sounds funny here in Israel, where most people, when they hear about Israel, think about the challenges between the Israelis and the Palestinians and the Intifada and whatnot. But it's just the opposite of that here. The entire environment kind of feeds your freedom and your happiness.
They live a clean lifestyle. Their vegan diet is mixed with plenty of exercise. It seems to work. The adults look much younger than their years. Incidents of cancer and heart attack are few.
We're not doing it for vanity. We're not doing it to show off in a beauty pageant. It's to live. Literally live, never die, never get sick. Literally. It's possible.
You think that's possible?
Absolutely. I'm in my 50s now. At this point, I'm actually stronger than when I was a teenager.
The Kingdom of Yah is located inside the desert town of Dimona. The locals here remain suspicious of the African Israelite Hebrews. They fear they could compromise Israel's security as the government has little control over them.
ומקובלים בחברה. רק בעיה אחת ישנה, שהזהות שלהם היא משולשת. זאת אומרת, יש להם נשיא, יש להם שר חוץ, והם מתנהגים כמו מדינה בתוך מדינה, ואני לא יודע אם חס וחלילה ושלום בבוא היום ינצלו את המדינה שלנו לרע. אבל ככה אין לנו איתם בעיה.
But what has won the African Israelites greater acceptance from Israeli society is the death of one of their own from a terrorist attack. Tehillah Aninan's son Aaron was killed by a Palestinian gunman while he was singing at a bar mitzvah. 5 Israelis were also killed. His sister Cathrelah is angry that it took the death of her brother for the family to finally get residency in Israel.
It's a shame that some doors did open after that. You know, it's a shame that they couldn't have opened before then. But it did have, help to open a few doors for us. Not that we were not trying to open those doors before, but it sort of pushed the issue. Because, like I said before, he was the first child that was born in the land after we had come into the land, and he was the first male and the first child born, so that was special, very special for us.
But there are signs that the Israeli government may finally grant the African Israelites full citizenship. In 2003, the then Interior Minister, Avraham Porras, gave them permanent residency, which can be converted to citizenship.
They have the right of social security from one hand, but from the other hand, they have the obligation that their children will go to military service, conscription.
The price of permanent residency is that these children will have to serve in the Israeli army. After being rejected for 36 years, they'll risk losing their lives for something that many, like 17-year-old Orat, don't believe in.
Yes, I will be going to the army.
How do you feel about it?
Personally, when I heard about it, I didn't want to go. I still don't want to go. But I have to, I guess.
But why do you have to?
So I can serve my country, my community, my people. I mean, I just don't believe in war, period. That's just why. It ain't that I don't want to go serve my country or nothing. I just don't believe in it. I feel that everybody deserves to live.
But others in this group, like 18-year-old Amior, see the army service as a way to fight for their community's interests.
Everybody believed that the land was given to them. We believe that this is our land too. And it was promised to us, so we gonna do whatever it takes for us to get it.
But the most immediate danger to the community is the threat of eviction orders from Dimona Council. The African Hebrews have an average of 10 children per family. Meals have to be served in shifts in the community canteen. There's no room in the bungalows, with 30 people living in some of them. Dimona's Deputy Mayor, Yossi Azriel, says the buildings are in breach of Israel's fire and housing regulations and has offered them new land to build on.
אגב, יש ניסיון מאמץ של להקצות להם שטחים שהופשרו לבנייה, צמודת קרקע. הבעיה שהבנקים לא מוכנים לתת להם משכנתאות.
The African Hebrew Israelites will not be crushed, and ironically, they've been saved by the banks. They can't secure a loan while non-citizens, and without a loan, they can't buy or lease alternative accommodation. For the moment, they'll be staying put in their patch of the Holy Land.